Creating a high converting landing page takes a lot of work. And when you finally launch it, below average conversion rates. So you try AI to speed things up. And now your page looks like every other AI generated page. Generic copy, corporate jargon, cookie cutter design. Most people think you have to choose quality or speed. Either spend days crafting the perfect page or use AI to get something that looks generic. But here's what I figured out. Speed and quality aren't opposites when you have the right system. You don't need to work harder, you just need to redesign the process. I can now pretty much build a landing page in under 2 hours. Better copy, better design, higher conversion rates. Keyword conversion rate. I've designed over 500 websites in my lifetime, and the pattern I've noticed is this. The best landing pages don't overwhelm, they guide. They follow a system, and with the right tools and framework, you can build a system in fraction of the time it used to take. So in this video, I'm breaking down my speedy system for landing pages and making sure it all converts. One framework, 3 tools in under 2 hours from concept to published page. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Rashid. I've been building websites for over 10 years and have been in marketing for over 9 years. And in this video, I'm gonna help you make sense of marketing in the AI economy without losing sight of the fundamentals. So let's dive in. In the movie, The Founder, it tells the story of how in 1948, the McDonald's brothers had a problem. Their restaurant was popular but slow. And when they tried to speed things up, quality suffered. So they did something radical. They studied assembly lines from car manufacturing. They redesigned their entire kitchen where they specialized every role. One person grills, one person dresses, one person finishes the burger. They pre-proportioned every ingredient. They choreographed every movement. They called it the speedy system. And the result, they could make a burger in 30 seconds, faster than any competitor and better quality than they've ever produced before. You see, they didn't work harder, they just redesigned the process. That's what this is. Not a hack, not a shortcut, a system. So here's my speedy system for landing pages. One framework that forces clarity, 3 specialized tools that do each one thing perfectly, and a quality control process that ensures it converts. So let me show you how it works. So with all my experience in landing pages, I've boiled it down to 5 key sections. Think of a landing page as the first step of the funnel. It's a system with inputs, processing, and outputs. The inputs is attention, the processing is persuasion, and the output is revenue. Here's the problem. Most landing pages fail because they bury the value prop or confuse the visitor. They try to say everything. They try to overcomplicate the message. They overwhelm instead of guide. This framework forces clarity at every step. Most high converting landing pages follow these 5 sections. So section 1 is your hero section. So this is known as a hero hook. This is your first impression, okay? You hook visitors immediately to get them scrolling and investigating further. If you had $1 budget, you gotta spend 80 cents on your headline. So here's my hero framework. First, the headline, your boldest claim or most attractive benefit tailored to your audience. The headline's job is to get attention, spark intrigue, and promise a specific benefit. I use the 4 U's framework: urgent, unique, useful, ultra specific. The headline carries 80% of the weight. Then it's the subheadline. You gotta elaborate on the headline and lead it to the CTA. Next is the creative visuals. Show the product or service in action with an image, GIF, or video. And lastly, call to action, a concise incentive with trust-building elements like well-known customer logos underneath it. A call to action button, logos for a quick proof point. One good hook is worth more than 1,000 words of masterful copy. If you can't hook somebody's attention, the rest of your landing page, no matter how strong, won't matter. This leads to section 2 of the landing page, the old way. Your market is stuck with challenges your product or service can solve. Paint a vivid picture of their pain points and expose the flaws of outdated methods. Now, here's where most people screw up. They nail the hero section, then they jump straight to features. Here's what our product does, right? Straight to the features. Wrong. You need the old way section first, right? You need to agitate the pain points before you offer the solution. If you skip this, your landing page feels like any other generic sales pitch. No empathy, no understanding. Just buy our thing. Basically, all you have to do is first agitate the pain, highlight the frustration or inefficiencies they are pretty much dealing with, expose the flaws, right? Call out the shortcomings of the current approach. Then you also want to show the stakes. So what happens if they stick to the status quo? Then you've got to create some urgency. Make them feel like they have to act now. A great way to lay this out is start with a punchy intro, like a small paragraph that sums up their struggles, then use bullets to drive home the issues. This is direct, easy to skim, and gets them thinking, I need a better way. This leads to section 3, the new way. This is the meat of your pitch and where you need to now show your solution. First, you've got to show how it fixes their problem, eliminate frustrations you've just highlighted. Then you've got to show how it creates real change, describe the transformation they will experience. Then you want to show how it delivers measurable results. So share specific outcomes aligned with their goals. So pretty much what you need to do is connect each feature to a clear benefit. And also you want to answer potential objections up front. Again, for this section, start with a small paragraph positioning your product as the answer or solution in that case. Then use bullets to spotlight the benefits and outcomes. This makes it, again, easy to skim and immediately impactful. This leads to section 4, which is evidence. Social proof builds trust and shows that your solution works. So examples could be customer reviews, share glowing reviews with specific benefits and outcomes, especially from third-party platforms. Also, you want to maybe show testimonials, use quotes from happy customers or experts to build that authenticity. Also, you want to show case studies, right? Show real-world examples of clients who've overcome challenges and achieved measurable results. This part is more detailed compared to the other two. So with that said, really important thing to do is numbers grab attention, right? People tend to skim the whole landing page, but stats make them stop. The more you can highlight, the better, right? With this section, without strong social proof, potential customers may be hesitant, limiting your leads and conversions, right? Everyone's skeptical these days. You need evidence to back up your claims, which leads to the final section of the framework, which is call to action. Effective calls to actions deliver value without pressure or risk. Make them clear, straightforward, and give people a real reason to take the next step. So you have the primary call to action, which is scheduling a call, trying your product, or making a purchase. You got to here address the concerns up front, offer risk-reducing incentives like free trials or guarantees. Then you have your secondary call to action. You need this because not everyone's ready to commit straight away, and that's okay. So you got to offer a low-pressure alternative, like an ebook, a guide, a mini course that keeps them in the funnel, right? Something of value where they exchange their name and email. That's all you need. Bonus tip, use exit intent pop-ups to show your secondary call to action right before someone leaves their page. So that's the framework, 5 sections. This forces clarity, guides the visitor from attention to action. Feeling lazy? Here's a shameless plug. I have a prompt library where you can get this exact framework plus 50 other marketing prompts. Link in the description. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but the whole purpose of the video is the speedy system, right? Let me show you the tools that makes this fast. So the free tools with the speedy system. The McDonald's brothers didn't make one person do everything. They specialized. So same principle here. You don't need one AI tool that does everything badly. You need 3 tools, each doing one thing perfectly. So tool number 1 is Framer for design. There are a ton of website builders out there, but my favorite is actually being Framer. From personal experience, it has made building a landing page almost effortless. It's low code, perfect for simple architectures, and optimized for page speed. I actually switched from Webflow to Framer because it's more intuitive and I can focus on designing and testing high converting pages instead of wrestling around with setup complexities. The easiest way to get this done with speed is simply go to Framer's template library and you can get going fast. Pick a template that matches your layout needs, customize it, and you're 80% done in 20 minutes. Tool number 2 is Claude for Copy. This is where the framework comes to life. You don't just tell Claude, write me a landing page. You give it the 5-section framework and fill each section with clarity. Here's the prompt structure I use. Take a screenshot of this, upload it to a chatbot you preferred, like ChatGPT or Claude. Ask it to give you it as a copy and paste format. Copy this back in the chat and fill out your placeholders. And then it will give you your framework. Fill in these placeholders and you're good to go. Because I don't know your business, I don't know what you are and what you do. These placeholders will fix this and give you a tailored professional copy for your landing page. With that said, you won't get generic AI copy, no corporate jargon, just clear, benefit-focused messaging focused on conversions. If you want an advanced version of this, grab my prompt library in the link in the description. Next is tool number 3 is Gemini for images. This video came in a good time. Google recently released Nano Banana Pro, which is now on Gemini 3 Pro. With the right prompt, this is a game changer for landing page visuals. So here's the thing, 90% of media buying, which is pretty much buying ads, doesn't matter if your creatives suck. The same applies to landing pages. First, you need a pattern interrupt, something that breaks the visitor's usual flow and grabs their attention immediately. I call this the visual hook or the scroll stopper. You also want to make your landing pages personal, right? So before using AI, try showing product screenshots or using photos of yourself to try add that personal element and add authenticity. That's what really drives conversions. But when you need the custom visuals, use Gemini. Now here's the mistake people make with Gemini. They generate one image, use it, and then call it done. Wrong. You need to create 5 to 10 variations and then pick the one that you think will actually stop the scroll. You see, AI gives you speed, but you still need judgment, right? 80% of using AI these days is all about quality control. So your judgment is still very important. So test different styles, different compositions, different color schemes, then pick the winner. Ensure each visuals tells a part of your story. Use things like charts, bold colors, and eye-catching designs that stop visitors from scrolling, right? My preferred favorite element that makes me stop are charts and graphs, just because I'm a numbers guy, right? I love seeing that kind of stuff. But every persona is different, okay? The goal is to be unique, not like any other page. So that's the specialization. Framer builds a structure, Claude writes the copy, Gemini creates the visuals. Each tool does one thing perfectly. That's how you get speed and quality, right? So next up is one really important element that I mentioned before, which is quality control. Please don't skip this. You've got your framework, you've got your tools, you've built your landing page in under 2 hours. But here's where most people stop. And this is where you need to do 2 things to ensure it actually converts, okay? Step 1 is the Hemingway app for readability. You see, consumption precedes conversion. Let me say that again. Consumption precedes conversion. There's no point having a landing page if people don't consume your content. So there's a free tool out there called the Hemingway editor. Simply upload your copy and it highlights areas that are hard to understand or overly complex. I aim for a 5th grade reading level or lower. That's not dumbing it down, that's making it clear, right? For people on all levels. If your copy is too complex, people bounce. Simple as that. Even the most advanced people still want the most easiest copy to read, okay? They want something easy that their brain could comprehend in 5 seconds. So run your copy through Hemingway and it will fix the highlighted sections and make it easy to read. Step 2, I would say, is more suggested. If you need inspiration, I tend to go to saslandingpage.com for design inspiration. This is actually my secret weapon for design inspiration. Why? Because these are the companies spending millions on their websites, okay? These are the venture-backed, whatever they are. They are spending a lot of money on their websites. And with AI tools and tools like Framer, you can replicate or emulate the design quality in fraction of the time. I'm not saying copy them, I'm saying study what works. Look how they structure the hero sections, how they use their language, how they use their social proof, how they position their CTAs, then adapt those principles as inspiration to your page. You know, this is genius because you're learning from companies that have tested and optimized their pages with millions of ad spend, where you get the benefit from that without spending a dime. And lastly, outside of quality control, this is the most important element of the whole video. But I'm gonna drop something really, really important for you. And it's so important. It is my number one principle for conversion, which is page speed. What you need to do is use Google Page Speed Insights. You know, we're talking about the speedy system here, and this is where the word speed comes in, okay? Page speed is one of the most crucial factors of your page's success. Research shows that visitors expect a page to load in 3 seconds or less. If it takes longer, they get frustrated and bounce. You could have the best page in the world, but if it's not fast, you're toast. Luckily, tools like Framer are optimized for page speed, but be careful. The one suggestion I would ask you to do is when uploading images or GIFs or video, keep them under 1 megabyte. For videos, host them on platforms like Wistia or Vimeo, okay? And use the link and embed them. Simple as that. So once your landing page is ready, run a speed test with Google Page Speed Insights. A fast site equals more conversions. Plain and simple, okay? So this is a speedy system for landing pages, right? The McDonald's brothers redesigned their kitchen to make burgers in 30 seconds. You just learned how to redesign the process to build landing pages in under 2 hours. Like I said, one framework that forces clarity, 3 specialized tools that each do one thing perfectly, and quality control that ensures it converts. Right now, go to Framer, pick a template, spend 30 minutes filling in the 5-section framework with Claude, and you'll have the landing page 80% done. So I hope you liked this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.